SJWs are always cowards at the end of the day. They block, they talk smack behind the block, then they keep going. And this is kind of their tactic that they do in order to pretend they have their little clout world. It's all they really care about. It's not like they're making money. When they tell you they're successful, that means they have a bunch of credentials behind their name. But if you look closely, people like Heather Antos have been whining about like not being able to afford laptops, not being able to get paid like living wages. I think she said she was paid under $35,000 when she was working for Marvel, which is, you get more if you work at McDonald's. Absolutely crazy. So their definition of successful is quite odd compared to like normal American life, but this is what they do. So somebody was, of course, going and saying, hey, Heather Antos has gone to all these companies and then torched them. If you look at Marvel, Marvel's been in the dumps sales-wise ever since she kind of left that place in a trash fire. And then, of course, she went to Valiant. Valiant was doing very well as an independent comic company, and then she brought in her friends, and of course, Valiant now can't even like get one book out per month. It's been destroyed to that level. And IDW, as we know, has been delisted from the stock exchange. They've fired a large portion of their staff, and now they've cut all of their original line. Any original comics people are making that aren't just like brand names that people just buy because of the brand name are gone because they just couldn't manage it with the current staff. That's what came out in Bleeding Cool today. So it's odd to be calling this successful, saying that it's the best ever, but this is what the SJWs always do. And of course, she went at a fan. This is just a random person online who was just talking about the sales, and she, of course, quote tweeted them so that her followers would go ratio that person and then kind of scare them off. This is their other tactic they like to do on Twitter. Of course, she blocks people like me, and then of course runs these whole blockchains of whole follow lists so that the person can't get any backup because that's what they want to do. That's the whole goal of the woke SJW, is to try to overwhelm you, try to make you look like you feel like you're alone, and then try to ostracize you. And that way they keep their little clout circles going. But it doesn't work very well anymore because we can just make a video about it like this. And apparently Heather takes exception to that because when I respond to what she's doing with the truth, she gets very mad on Twitter. So here's what she did the other day. This is a passive-aggressive tweet because I asked her a question in a chat about IDW's sales and their licenses. Now, again, this is just fair game. I'm just being a comic book journalist, as I do. I work for Bounding Into Comics and, of course, run this channel. Thank you guys so much for the support. And this is what she says. I, too, would make a YouTube video full of lies and playing the victim anytime I felt threatened by a successful individual. But then I'm too busy making actual comics and hitting my deadlines. Now, notice how passive aggressive this is. And this is kind of what I call out. It's like you can't just directly say something. You can't say, John Delarose, I don't like that guy because he knows more about Star Trek than me and actually knows more about comics than me. So I don't like the fact that I'm in this position and this guy makes a video about actual work that I've done. No, because they've got nothing to stand on. So they have to passive aggressively do it. They also don't want to name me because this way, when she makes another passive aggressive tweet today or tomorrow, she'll go, I didn't name you. Maybe it wasn't about you. They like to play that game rather than actually just like talking things out and acting like adults. This is kind of just the overgrown children that the woke are. So, but this is very interesting. Lies and playing the victim. Quite the projection going on right here. If you notice, her entire career has been playing the victim, saying she's been harassed or whatever, just because people make commentary about a very public thing, like somebody who runs the Star Trek line. That's a public job. If you don't like that, that's the deal. I feel threatened. She literally called security on me at San Diego Comic-Con just for being at a panel. I didn't do anything, didn't say anything. I was just covering it for Bounding Into Comics, and I was going to ask a question, if they ran questions, but of course they tactfully didn't run questions during that panel. And so there it is. And then she claims to be a successful individual. I think, again, that's projecting in the reverse. Again, I've done better with my comics, I think, monetarily than she's done in comics generally as well. I don't know what she's making now at IDW, but I gather it's not that much if they're making slashes like this. But then again, I'm too busy making actual comics and hitting my deadlines. This is interesting. Actual comics. So I guess what I make as an indie creator, what Rippa makes as an indie creator, what Ethan Van Sciver makes as an indie creator are not actual comics. The only ones that are actual comics are the ones that are approved by the board that have a license attached to them that some dead guy created 50 years ago that you get to make fan fiction of. That's what actual means by these people. Now, I'm making actual comics. This is Overmind, Heather. This by itself made close to $50,000, just one graphic novel here, just for me. Flying Sparks is fulfilling right now. I'll put this link in the description below. You can grab this. Wonderful story. I was told by a Hugo Award nominated magazine editor that this is the best superhero book made in the last 10 years. I'm very happy about that. So this is doing very well. The fans love it. People who have gotten it said it's a wonderful story and a wonderful conclusion. So those are some of my actual comics. I can't hold all of them up because I just don't have time on the video to do this. And, this is a video kind of about the behavior of the mainstream industry, not necessarily my comics. But geez, I mean, what an insult to independent creators. So unless you're part of her little gatekeeping clique, her little crew that she brings around from company to company, which is just her friends, and the only people that are allowed in are her friends, not necessarily talent, then you are not an actual comic creator. How insulting. I wonder if the people who were the IDW originals who got canceled, who don't have their books being made now, are actual comic creators. I mean, I guess they're not making actual comics since those comics got canceled. Geez, this is a nasty rabbit hole to go down. But this is what happens. They're very angry. They're very bitter people. They want to destroy anything that's good. They want to destroy anything that's fun, because if they can't have fun, you can't have fun. That is the entire premise of all of this. So look, I don't want anybody hurt. I don't want anything like that. But it's really sad that Heather, as her position in Star Trek, uses her platform to do this kind of stuff and to try to hurt independent creators. You would hope she'd be trying to help lift people up instead. Very sad. So thank you very much, guys. And if you do want to support the actual comics, I'll have this link down in the description below. Leave a comment with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.